ecological and social systems. They force us to think about the interactions between what nature's doing and how ecosystems work, and the benefits we get and how those feed into our ecological and social systems. So it's a way of forcing this interaction that I think is really healthy and useful and interesting from a research point of view. Secondly, I think they benefit from being a really powerfully intuitive idea. So people just get intuitively that nature does things that support our lives, and we don't account for that very well. And when we do, we realize how important they are and tend to behave or decide differently. And that's an idea that resonates with people in the World Bank and people in government agencies and, you know, my own family, who otherwise doesn't get a lot of what I do. So I think that's useful for us as we're trying to be relevant in our research to decision makers and so forth. And lastly, it's just fun as a researcher. It's a really rich area of research that has a lot of really thorny problems that needs to borrow from the best of all these disciplines to get at. So for all these reasons, I think it's an interesting and important and fun place to be working. So for a lot of people, the idea of ecosystem services was crystallized in this Millennium Ecosystem Services Assessment, of which this is one of the covers of the results. Lots of people, of course, were working on ecosystem services long before this assessment came along, many of them here at Vermont and elsewhere. But this was this 5-year effort among about 1,000 scientists, funded and sponsored by the UN, to assess the state of the world's ecosystems, their contributions to our well-being, and how they're changing, and therefore those contributions are changing. And that, I think, galvanized a lot of research around this. And you can see its imprint, actually, in the productivity of research community around papers that cite ecosystem services as a keyword. So the Millennium Assessment ended right here. And you can see it was part of growth already, but it's been a sort of exponential rise since in the number of papers published over time, with a